Alright, welcome back to Roguetech, and welcome back to your first playthrough. So, we have... we were fine for the financial report, and then we started building the Stormcrow, and now we're not fine for the financial report. But, it's alright. Also, was there a hiring hall that I... No, that's right. I was, I mean, I have the berths for it, but I don't really have the need for it. Since I'm not doing anything crazy with the playthrough, we just basically need enough to drop what we've got back to back. And based on the fact that we usually have repair time of at least a day or two, we're able to get the vehicle pilots back up quickly enough. So we effectively can drop 6 units, since we don't have any battle armor. So we have 4 mech or vehicle slots and 2 vehicle slots. So we've got 11 berths filled, and our commander is the 12th. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Which means we should be able to drop back to back even without, if we don't need any repairs, even without giving anyone any time for fatigue recovery. That said, we are kind of lacking on vehicle pilots, but I don't feel like that's that big of a deal since the vehicle pilots don't take as much time to recover. So it's fine. I don't think we need to, especially since there's nobody like super promising in the hiring hall. Because we would be specifically looking for vehicle pilots. This is very interesting, the plus 40 affinity and the bonus punch kick damage. But at the same time, I mean, so, like, for a vehicle pilot specifically, dependable is okay at best. And unless the vehicle happens to have splash damage weapons or jam chance or both, that's the lucky doesn't really come in. Yeah, I feel like we're just gonna hold off and see what the next location has. Also, you know, if we hire somebody now, we'll be paying them this financial report. Whereas if we wait till after we travel to hire anyone else, then this financial report will not include their payments. But yeah, let's just go straight to the command center. We still have a ship upgrade in 12 days. And that's actually a thing to consider. Before we decide how much sea bills and how much salvage to go for, we have 12 days before the improved library is done. After the improved library, I would like some more morale upgrades, but I would also like tech point upgrades. I want all of the things. So, I mean, lounge is cheap. 203,000 is not bad. 10 days plus 2 morale. 154,000, 10 days for 1 tech point on the refit harness. I think that might actually be the play. Like, we're not going to have the money to get Mech Bay 3 up. That's 1.5 million after the structural reinforcement and improved power conduits. But 150,000 for the refit harnesses, that's doable. So that would be 10 days after the 12 days that we already have, so that would be 22. And then from there, we could choose, I mean, heck, MRB console, that's new. When did they add that? Bidding on all standard contracts and flashpoints? What? Okay, so now I have to build that at some point. That's interesting. Oh! Enables super heavy conflict and challenge contracts. Really? Really? A super heavy hunt contract. Okay. Okay, so that's what's going on there. Okay. So we are, I think, since it says 0 days to completion, $0 per or 0 C-bill purchase, 0 C-bill upkeep, we're gonna try to build that as soon as the library's done and see what it does. Because maybe we'll be able... but we'll be traveling in the middle. Okay, well, that. We'll put a pin in that. So yeah, let's drop on a contract, and we need money. We need 250,000-ish for this financial report. Then we need the travel costs, which I think is just 50,000. Let me check. Let me check real quick. We are trying to go there so we can do urban contracts, and I can talk about all that, which is 25,000. Okay. So we need 250,000 for the financial report, and then another 25,000 just to travel. And then we want to build definitely the upgrades to the mech bay for 150,000, and then maybe also the morale upgrade for 200,000. So we're looking for at least like 600,000+, and that's without even having funding to do anything with the mechs that we're repairing right now. So this might be a money run situation. And there are a few contract types better for money runs than destroy base. Or ambush convoy. Oh, actually, okay. Ambush convoy is actually really good for money runs if you can get in, destroy the convoy, and get out without taking too much damage. But since we're running so many short-range mechs, this might actually be problematic. Because the best way to do an ambush convoy for money is to just either use indirect fire or mines or both, in addition to long range like Gauss rifles and things, to really just try to destroy the vehicles before they can even really return fire too much, and then evac out. But at the same time, I mean, destroy base, turrets are problematic. Also, well armed and well supplied. We've tracked the weapons back to a hidden supply base. That's local government. Okay, these are against the Republic. Okay, yeah, we're not gonna drop against the Republic for a money run. We are not dropping against Republic of the Sphere for a money run. That would be a very, very poor idea. Actually, hold on. Okay, training day. This is a thing we can do. Alright, we're going to drop on this. Training day is a battle. We're against planetary government. And I think because it's only one salvage per... But then again, I mean, planetary government, there's a chance they drop a clan mech. It's just such a wild card. And it's only, what, 191,000 per pick? See, by default, salvage is just such a good call, honestly. If there's a chance of anything good dropping, like if you're not against a periphery faction or pirates, actually even pirates sometimes, they drop some interesting things, but as far as like money goes, if you're dropping against planetary government, any clan faction, Republic of the Sphere, Comstar, any of the factions that could potentially drop clan mechs, or any kind of risk tech, or any kind of society tech, you're likely to be able to get one priority pick that is 190,000 C-bills. Like, by default, payments, the C-bill payouts aren't super lucrative unless it happens to be a specific situation, like a defend base is a great example. If you're dropping on a defend base knowing that you're not going to be able to destroy much of the opposition, and possibly in a situation where you're going to have turrets and things drawing fire that allows you to keep all the buildings intact, you can negotiate for high C-bills and get a really lucrative payday. But most of the time it feels kind of bad, because like, even if the planetary government is dropping a bunch of like lower tech stuff, 190,000 for 5 salvage is completely doable even with lower tier, like I think internal combustion engines even sell for like 40-50,000. So like 5 picks, 5 random salvage, 1 priority pick is potentially just as much, if not more, money. So it's really hard to just justify going, all in on money unless it is a very specific situation where it's a mission where you will be able to do the objective and get out without really fighting much. A great example of this is recovery missions. If you have, for example, an incredibly mobile lamb or something, where you can potentially swoop in a single turn, capture the point, and then evac out in a single turn, which is possible if you have a fast enough, crazy enough lamb with enough of an afterburner, then yeah, going full payment is, fine, is great. But if you're going to be fighting anything, really, there's, worst case scenario, if you go salvage instead of C-bills, if you only get 100,000 C-bills worth of stuff over the course of those 5 picks, you're still only losing out on 100,000 C-bills. This is the thing. Salvage and C-bills, the C-bills are always the reassured, yeah, this is the baseline, you're gonna get this. But unless you're absolutely desperate, it's usually a good idea to go for salvage, especially when, and this is the reason I'm bringing this up right now, especially when you have the tools available, as we do, as we demonstrated yesterday, to pick out the loot pinata and just get all of it, or almost all of it. So it's not even a matter anymore, when you're just shredding everything and whatever ends up on the loot table ends up on the loot table, yeah, going against planetary government, there's a pretty good chance that there might be 1, maybe 2 max enemies that have good stuff in them. But when you have the tools to dissect the enemy forces and make that 1 or 2 targets just be a cacophony of salvage, at that point it gets harder to justify going for C-bills at all. Because, yeah, there's a chance planetary government drops nothing of interest, nothing of value. We drop in, we blow everyone up, we take some mech parts or, engine cores or whatever and sell them for maybe less than, it would have to be 40,000 per pick, or per salvage, per tick to completely reach the max 1 million C-bills. We would need to get about 40,000, I think 50,000 per salvage, basically. But anything short of that, it's still money. Even if they don't drop anything worthwhile, even if we just sell everything worth, that we salvage, we're still gonna make money. How much money is kind of the question, but baseline here, we're making 306,000. And even the cheapest, unless we're literally just getting heat sinks, I think heat sinks are the only thing that will sell for less than 5,000. Well, heat sinks and smaller, but the majority of random salvage you'll get will be at least 5,000, which isn't much. But if you look at it that way, these 23 picks, or these 23 salvage, let's just assume, let's just pretend we don't even have priority picks, but with just 23 random salvage, if each one was the cheapest stuff in the game other than the stuff that literally is worth nothing, like single heat sinks, then you're looking at another 100,000 or so minimum. So, yeah, we're gambling a little bit, hoping that the planetary government drops something good, but even if they don't drop something objectively good, they could always drop stuff that's useful or just valuable. Again, engine cores. Great example. Every mech has an engine core. Yeah, the smallest cores aren't worth a ton. I could just actually go demonstrate that right now, because I have some very low-rated cores. Equipment? No. Yeah, I guess. Where are the engine cores? So, there we go. Engine cores. An 85 core, which is tiny. One of the smallest cores that you could possibly get. 40,000 C-bills. Whenever you start getting up to 300 cores, that's 130,000. If we get a single core that is 250 or higher, first of all, we need them, because we are lacking 250 plus cores that don't need external heat sinks. But even if we didn't need them, a single core that's over 250 is over 100,000 sea-bills. And again, we're negotiating for, what is it, like, where is it? Yeah, we're negotiating if you, So this is 197,000. So if 2 out of the 5 salvage we're getting from this are just engine cores, then we made the same amount of money and we got 3 additional salvage. So this is the point now that we're far enough in that everyone has a pretty good idea of things, where I can say, like, yeah, by default, like, if you're not going to adjust the settings for the playthrough, honestly, there's not usually a lot of reason to go sea-bills, unless it's a very specific niche situation. Now, obviously, whenever you first start, the reason I didn't bring this up much sooner in the playthrough is, yeah, if you don't know what's worth anything, and if you don't know what's good and what's bad, and you don't, and you get mechs torn up every single mission, then yeah, sometimes going sea-bills will help you repair over a financial report, but it's really hard with default settings. It's really hard to justify not just going full salvage. Which is why I usually don't play with default settings, which is why we're going stingy salvage on Challenger and Mark III. So, yeah. Also, you know, whenever you reduce the scrap and the scrap and sell values from 13% to 5%, this entire situation changes drastically, and all of a sudden you can't rely on an engine core to give you 100,000 anymore. Since, yeah, that's almost 1/3 of what it normally is. So that same engine core that would give 100,000 with 5% instead of 13%, again 13% being the default, would only sell for 33,000 instead of 100,000. So, yeah, that's this whole shtick. Now, again, the exception is if you're fighting like the pirates. Usually, pirate tech isn't valuable; it's just interesting and sometimes kind of useful. And peripheries. Periphery states if you're getting stuff that doesn't even have engine cores because they're running like really retro engines. Also, internal combustion engines are more likely to go critical, which means that the engine core will be completely destroyed, etc., etc. Like, there's factors that go into it, but generally speaking, if you're just fighting most factions, you can safely go salvage unless you desperately, like, if this was the last mission we could possibly drop on before this financial report, it might be worthwhile to go for more sea-bills just to make absolute certain that we succeeded at the financial report, that we didn't go bankrupt without having to sell and scrap things. But since we're comfortable, like, we are close. We have 24 days. Like, yes, we have plans that we would like to execute, but if things go wrong, we can change our plans. And, yeah, this is also a training day. Training day is a special kind of battle. We have these 3... Oh, wow. So we have 3 what usually are bad Mechwarriors. Okay, so Burger Time here has 3235 and is in a Phoenix Hawk. Flapjacks is 5523 and is in a Huntsman. And Pontoon is 2523 but's in a Scorpion. I don't even think we need to drop a mech here, honestly. It's a one skull mission, and we can potentially just drop our vehicles. I think I will, actually. Just to make absolute certain there is no repair time, and to make sure that only the 2 vehicle pilots get fatigue. So that, again, we have the option of dropping on another mission without them, which we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people. And we have, 2 people, and yeah, we could very easily drop again immediately, since we're guaranteed to have no repair bills. So the consideration here is, yes, if we dropped another mech, we would have more firepower, we'd be able to complete the battle more effectively. But looking at what they're bringing, like, I can't click to see exactly what weaponry there is, But I'm pretty sure the A is an active probe, which means the Huntsman with the 5 gunnery and 3 tactics is actually going to have a decent hit chance. We've got altogether so much armor. That is... yeah, 1675, 22, 2300 armor between the 3 of them. I think we'll be fine with just the vehicles. And yeah, that's what we're gonna do. I mean, it's funny that Darius thinks we need to bring something tough on a 1 skull mission with the mechs that they're marching around in. Like, yeah, they're not the best mech warriors, but, yeah. Alright. So, the training day mission is very simple. There's an enemy lance. You're dropping in with a bunch of rookies to train them how to fight enemies. And, yeah, that's the gist of it. At that point, it's just a matter of doing. The one thing that makes it a little bit tricky is sometimes you do get very, very bad mechs with bad mech warriors in them. Other times you get really ridiculously good mechs with bad mech warriors in them, and sometimes like this you get respectable mechs with honestly not terrible mech warriors. So I'm not super worried about this mission. Now there should be, once we defeat the first force, there should be an additional. I'll just drop there like that. We have a reposition round, so it's fine. But there should be a reinforcement lance that drops in. You can either evac out or fight the reinforcement lance, generally. I mean, Chaucer to the front.
Looking out.
Alright, what are we against? Light LRM carrier, so 3 LRM 10s, not that much armor, not much structure. Shouldn't be too terrible as long as we can get direct line of sight, although if it's firing indirectly, we might have a little bit of trouble. A command van with an LRM 5 and a machine gun. Okay, the SRM Scorpion is actually a little bit of a concern. It is 2 SRM 6s. And then we have a Scorpion with an LRM 10 and an LRM 5. The LRM 5 is busted. So, nothing at all to worry about, in my opinion. By my estimation, this should be a very easy, straightforward in and out. Oh, also I get to talk about quad mechs. This is the first quad mech we've seen, isn't it? Or at least that we've dropped.
Receiving you.
So as soon as we get there... oh, wow. The Huntsman's clan tech, too. Okay. I'm actually also going to kick on the supercharger, just to get that extra little bit of distance, and yeah, get to this cover. So we have a clan tech Huntsman. Cool. That's... is Flapjack's the... because it's a... okay. Because it's a clan mech, he's getting bonus gunnery from some of the clan components. It also has battle computers. Wow. Alright. Yeah. It was the right call not dropping mechs with this, because we are guaranteed 0 repair bills. Worst case scenarios we lose are Hilo and /or the Chaucer, but I don't think that's highly likely. Also, some of the missions, you do actually have to keep the allies that are dropping, or the people that you're controlling, alive. Like, there's missions where you're escorting a VIP, things like that. And those can be a little more tricky, but I believe as long as you complete the mission, or as long as you destroy the enemies, even if all the training, or even if all the trainees on a training day mission get taken out, I'm pretty sure you still get completion. You just get bonus pay if they survive. So quad mechs. Yeah, quad mechs. That's funny. You are spawn protection plus 99 difficulty to hit. Yeah, sounds right. So quad mechs are special. So you can see on the left all these different special quirks. In mech mode, a quad mech basically works very similarly to any other mech. But whenever you switch over to siege mode, all these things happen. So you cannot move basically at all anymore. You basically turn into a walking turret. You can move like 1 or 2 hexes. but you can fire 360 degrees regardless of facing. You have a bonus 20% stability threshold, 20% maximum, and minus 20% stability damage taken. So you basically don't get knocked unsteady or knocked down. So it's really good if you can put people... Well, now that now that Jinx doesn't do it anymore, if you put somebody cautious in a quad mech, and you get that bonus evasion, if you put defensive gyros, defense plus, defense double... Well, the double plus is unnecessary since it just increases max. But regardless, if you build up defense or evasion from just moving, you don't have to worry about getting knocked unsteady in siege mode, basically, at all. So you can actually have a quad mech that has decent enough evasion, but doesn't ever have to worry about stability damage. And yeah, you're not moving a lot, but it doesn't really matter. Also, siege mode gives bulwark, so if you're guarded or in cover, you get damage reduction, additional 20% damage reduction from either of those. And any shots that can scatter, so swarm LRMs, mortars, anything where there can be drift to your shot, going into siege mode makes it much tighter of a grouping and makes it much less likely that your shot's going to go off. So quads are incredibly good at firing off mortars, firing off long toms, like things like that. And you gain bonus accuracy and evasion ignore and reduced recoil when you're in siege mode. It doesn't say it, but last I checked, you can also fire things that normally give you the tub thumping check. So whenever you're firing anything that has an extreme kick, if you don't brace the turn before you fire, then there's a chance you get knocked down from firing it. If you move and fire instead of bracing and then firing the next turn. But quad mechs, I believe, are immune to the tub thumping unless something has changed. But yeah, that's a quad mech. And as you can see, just using it in mech mode, it's very similar to any other normal mech. It just has 4 legs. Speaking of that also, it still has the same issue of if you lose 2 legs, you lose the mech. But I believe all 4, like the arms and legs are all legs, basically. So I think if you lose arm and leg, you go down. Don't quote me on that, because I don't think I've ever actually lost a quad mech to legs, to being legged. So it might actually even be 3, I don't know. But it does have 4 legs instead of arms and legs, so yeah, you also don't have lower arm actuators, so the weapons... Well, first of all, most quad mechs can't have weapons in their legs or arms, but if they did, they wouldn't have a lower arm to get the +1 accuracy for having weapons in the arms. Yeah, I think that's about it. Nothing else pops into my mind at the moment, so that's quad mechs.
Receiving you.
Alright, so we have the Phoenix Hawk. We have the Phoenix Hawk to start things off. So we have turn 15 on the Scorpion that has just an LRM 10. We have turn 14 on the Command Van that I'm not worried about really at all. So the 2 things I want to destroy fastest are the things with the lowest initiative. And especially if I'm rushing them, if I'm just bum rushing them, all those LRMs are going to be within minimum range, which means their hit chance is going to be absolute garbage. So the Scorpion should definitely be the priority target. If I can, I should definitely be focusing the Scorpion first and foremost. The SRM Scorpion. And since I don't have to pay for the repairs, I also don't mind only getting 6 evasion instead of 7. So, yeah, I'm going to do exactly that. Run in and shoot the Scorpion. Okay, and part of the training day thing is that you don't have any control over the mechs, and they are usually just stock mechs. So a lot of them run very, very hot. But I mean, we can just save the heat by turning off what? One of the large lasers, one of the medium pulse lasers. They're the same, so they're the same accuracy. And at this point, I think I'm going to turn off the machine gun since he's not open at all. And that gives me the 2 big pinpoint shots and the medium pulse laser. And then next turn, I can just melee to drop heat. Alright, 45 damage. I'll take it. I will absolutely take it. Okay. Firing indirectly at the Huntsman because, again, minimum range, so we would have had an awful hit chance on the Phoenix Hawk.
No.
I'm actually going to save the bombs in case something interesting drops. Then again... Yeah, no, I'll save the bombs in case something interesting drops for the reinforcements that I want to knock unsteady. Because the bombs don't do a lot of raw damage. They're primarily stability damage, and vehicles don't care about stability damage. So... Okay, so they fired some swarm. Again, we don't have to pay any repair bills on this, so it's fine. It is completely and totally fine. I mean, yeah, rough terrain would normally be bad. I am going to turn off the supercharger, actually. I do not want anything to cause me to lose combat effectiveness before the completion of the mission, which sadly does mean we will not be able to follow up on the Scorpion, but that's fine. I will just pick a target based on hit chance, I think. That's a great hit chance. That's a great... I mean, there is also the chance that the light LRM carrier hot-loads the LRM, so by hot-loading the LRMs, they would be able to fire them point-blank with perfect accuracy. It just, you know, there's be a chance that they'd explode. And that is LRM 30, basically. So, 150 damage. Not something I really want to deal with. And this is actually a great example of a streak situation. We can fire everything, and if either of the streaks misses, we will not overheat, because all it takes is one streak not firing, and we don't go over the red line. If everything hits, the light LRM carrier is probably dead. The light LRM carrier is definitely dead. That would be... The streak 6's hitting would be guaranteed 120 damage. So I could opt with 70% to fire everything. Best case scenario, everything hits, it dies, and we redline, but we don't actually shut down or have an ammo explosion. And worst case scenario, everything fires, we do shut down or have an ammo explosion. And then there's also the chance that something doesn't fire and we don't overheat and everything's fine. But this isn't my mech. Put simply, this isn't my mech. So if it does explode, oops. And there we go. So everything fired, but we're fine. We took an entire enemy off the board with a single alpha strike. Didn't even shut down from it. So, yeah. That's fine. Choser,
let's go.
Stay in the forest if we can and, you know, try to get the kill.
I copy.
Unfortunate, we did miss the AC-10. And then since we don't have a shot without the extra mobility from being in mech mode, we will just run and shoot.
Roger.
I would have preferred to shoot him in the side, but I also don't want to risk stray shotting anything, so we're just going to do this. And it wasn't enough. Unfortunate. So here's SRM-12 coming at us. Who's he going to shoot at? That's the question. Ah, the quad mech. Okay. That's fine. That's completely fine. Okay, they actually go first. Alright. Just firing the machine gun. Not even moving.
Commander.
Well then. Alright, so here we go. Phoenix Hawk. I mean, if we go in the back of the Scorpion and we punch it, we drop all of our heat and we potentially do 44 damage.
Heading out.
Sure. So, cool.
I'm here.
Did a little bit of damage. This Scorpion, all we need is to tickle it. And we have so many choices to do it with. So I'm actually going to fly back here. Because minimum distance.
Copy.
And I'm also going to shoot the Scorpion in the back. And this isn't because shooting a vehicle in the back is good. This is because if I shoot him in the back, he's going to take damage from either back or sides or turret, which is where, unfortunately, it looks like all of our damage from the punch went.
Target locked.
Okay.
Enemy's rear.
So now we should be able to determine... Oh, actually just, yeah, backstrike. That's the way to finish it. But yeah, we have a huntsman that we want a cooldown turn on, definitely. So we are going to get in its side, and we're going to take a cooldown turn. And we only need about one pulse laser hit. So actually, our cooling's pretty awful. I'm gonna do that. I mean, then again, that's an extra 8 heat for... Nah, I'm just gonna take a super cooldown turn. Nope, none of them hit side. Okay, that's fine.
Commander?
We now have our quad mech that we can also move, and this thing has LBX. Incredibly high incredibly high hit and crit chance. I think I'm actually gonna save the LBX ammo, even though I have... You know, there's no need to greed. We have no heat problems on this mech at all.
Take this.
So we might as well just get the guaranteed kill.
Ready for orders.
There was the opportunity to not go all in there, but that came, yeah, that brought with it the risk of something going terribly wrong. And here I am lining up for stray shots, but never punished. Okay. Actually surprised that I got 2 hits off, but as I keep saying, we don't have to repair these mechs, so as long as they don't explode, I don't care. At all. And this Scorpion is just about dead. Anything will kill it, basically. Anything that hits rear or side will kill it. So, let's actually... Yeah, that's an idea. Let's shoot at the command van and possibly stray shot
Locked on.
into the other enemy. Yeah, once again, just firing the machine gun. No threat at all.
What now?
I mean, I just stand and shoot this, right?
Hunt through the back.
Guaranteed kill.
Mech destroyed. Ready for
And
orders.
this guy's dead. Like, there is no chance this guy survives. I'm just gonna stick to the punch so I have the heat for whenever the reinforcements drop.
Targeting for physical attack.
And Burger Time's actually... What is Burger Time's piloting? 2? Man, that's 2 for 2 on melee attacks. And, yeah. 2 for 2 on melee attacks with 2 piloting. I am impressed. So it needs 5 damage. So what can I fire without generating any heat? I'm fine with that.
Got it.
All
Alright.
primary targets have been destroyed.
So, we have reinforcements now. Okay, so not yet.
I'm
Reinforcements will be coming, just not yet.
I'm there.
So, move and brace, and at the end of the round they drop? Yeah. So we don't have to fight these. We can... Oh, camera. Cooperate. We can just run. But I also negotiated for max salvage, and have not gotten my salvage. So, yeah, I'm gonna... take the high ground, definitely. Set up with this cover, high ground. Be in pretty respectable shape here.
Heading out.
40% damage reduction, 4 evasion. Actually, I think I'm going to move... Yeah, I think I'm going to move the Scorpion... I'm going to move the Scorpion down here. Because I can then switch to siege mode and have, in that cluster of forest, have 40% damage reduction and just insane accuracy in case there's something that's like super mobile and difficult to pin down. I think I'm also going to bring my vehicles down. Well, obviously the VTOL can just swoop down whenever. But, yeah. Set up, ready for the reinforcements. Here they come. Stone line. Ah, yeah. So, the reinforcements are not necessarily going to be the Op 4 that you've been fighting. So there's always a chance on these missions and other missions where a secondary force drops in. There's a chance that you're going to get something really cool. We do not actually have a good enough. We do not have a good enough sensor roll to see what everyone has. I mean, 2 busted machine guns and a machine gun array. Okay, not worried about the APC then. We've got a Ripper 2C, Clan Ripper. And then we've got Zoria. So we can actually get a Zoria out of this. As long as each one of them drops 2 parts, we can build a Zoria. And have another good quality vehicle. And then we have a Badger. Badgers are...
Receiving you.
I like Badgers. They are quite good. They are quite good vehicles. Hover tanks that generally do. Wait, no. Actually, hold on. Are the no? Badgers are the APCs. Right. No, I was thinking of there's a hover tank that is another small critter, like a Badger. Hey. Oh yeah. And it's definitely a clan faction because they dropped 5. I wasn't. Stone Lion, huh? Is that My experience with Battletech lore primarily consists of up to like Succession War and Clan Invasion eras, not so much the like after Word of Blake Jihad era. So this Republic of the Sphere and some of the other changes after the Battle for Tukid are kind of new to me as far as from a lore perspective. I mean, this is going to be the best hit chance I have on the Ripper since we have elevation. But at the same time, I can't fire the bomb clusters. And I really want to fire the bomb clusters. So I'm going to go with hit chance. And fire on the Zoria.
I'll try.
There we go.
I've got
Zoria.
multiple weapons with no ammo.
Zoria is now open. And the enemy that basically just has a machine gun array is just bracing. Alright. I mean, I really... Looking at what I'm against, I don't think I even need damage reduction. Although it is kind of unfortunate that I do have to sprint to use... Actually, I can't even get line of sight from that angle. Huh. Okay. I think I'm gonna reserve with the Phoenix Hawk. I think I'm gonna reserve. I don't have an angle on something I want to shoot. They're not moving. That's even more reason for me to reserve and not shoot. If they're all seriously just not gonna move, they'll have no evasion, and then I just kill them all. Okay. Well, Badger's moving. Interesting.
Standing by.
And yeah, that's a dead Ripper. Hello. Again, we're gonna go all in.
Let's go. Let's
Either
go.
a kill or we don't overheat.
Eliminate. I'm generating a lot of heat.
And again, worst case scenario with the overheat is he explodes. And honestly, if he explodes, I don't really care. And yeah, unlike what I was talking about, I think I am actually going to. Yeah, I'm gonna go in.
Kicking it.
So hit chance is whatever. I really don't want to toss a shot into the heavy wheeled APC right now. I'm gonna hit the Zoria.
Roger that. Target confirmed.
And is he gonna do anything? Yes, he is. He's gonna move 1 hex. Okay. Yeah, so move and shoot. This is... I'm pretty sure the AI, like, bugged out. It shouldn't have been this easy. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to fire the large lasers at the fresh one. Because the other one is open from the other side. So as soon as we get shot on it, it's dead. Shoser, move in with the AC-10, take a shot at the Badger's rear, which ignores the cover, so there's literally no point to him going in the forest.
No retreat.
Like, if you're gonna go in a forest, don't put your back to the enemies.
What's up, boss?
I mean... Yeah, I'm just gonna stand and shoot.
Locking up.
I know I'm overheating, but I was pretty sure that was a kill.
Hope we can salvage that.
Cool.
Heat damage. Damn it.
I can actually kick here. It's not letting me choose the side I want to kick from. Yeah, I want to kick from the other side, not from... You know, I'm just gonna sprint then. Sprint. Fire at him from the other side. And that should be a dead Zoria. Beautiful.
Come on, people. Let's make it happen.
Alright.
Looks like I'll need a new target.
So it's looking like we're not going to get a lot of value, but we are going to get... We are going to definitely be getting a lot of vehicle parts. And vehicles is actually something that we could use more of. That was weird.
Looking honey.
It's fine.
Receiving you.
I mean, the Huntsman, we definitely want to go with long range and not fire everything. Like, I think I might just fire the streaks. Also, since I don't want to shoot necessarily past... Yeah, I don't want to really shoot past my VTOL. So, if we miss, we just drop all of our heat.
Let's hit him hard.
Yeah, so we're good. Next turn, we get to do a full alpha strike. Good times.
On my way. Double tap.
Alright, Tainted. Don't blow up our VTOL. Yeah? Beautiful. Thank you. Alright, turn 8. Machine gun array. Not really worried about it. Turn 7. I forget what he's carrying, but he's firing machine guns. Not worried about it.
No retreat.
I mean... Sure. Then again... He does have ammo. So I was about to go overheat and not care, and then I remembered that he has ammo. So if you're overheating, especially on multiple turns in a row, the chance of ammo explosion continues to increase, and the AMS and machine gun both have ammo that could have potentially taken the entire mech down.
Got the angle.
So we're just going to shoot one large laser.
Waiting for orders.
And he's stressed, so let's switch over to siege mode, and that gives us a perfect hit chance. So... Actually, before we commit to that... Yeah. Everyone gets to go... Okay. Cool.
Fire it. Good to go.
Yeah. Our hit chance went up considerably, and it would have gone up even more if they hadn't, you know, not moved
Hey,
every turn. This is a kill.
not your lucky day. Easy. Yes.
So, at this point, we just
Enemy down.
shoot the last guy who hasn't moved and have a good time.
On my
Move
way.
into optimal range. Move instead of sprint so we have the highest hit chance.
Hell yes.
Mission accomplished. Alright,
Enemies down.
easy.
Mission successful.
Alright, here we are. We made 332,000 after our drop costs. Not bad. Worth noting, you do have to pay drop costs for the trainees you're dropping to. That's why our drop costs are 83,000, even though we technically only dropped 2 vehicles. But that's fine. It was very much a cakewalk. That was the milk run of milk runs. And now we get to pick a vehicle and just build ourselves a vehicle. The Ripper 2C is interesting, except 2 Clan ER medium lasers, and it doesn't say anything about any kind of electronic warfare equipment. And it also only has 135 armor plates total across the entire VTOL. So I'm definitely not going to take Ripper parts. The light LRM carrier is interesting because it does have the ability, if it starts getting shot and losing armor, like it has 360 armor plates, so it's not the least armored vehicle ever, but if it starts taking damage, we can tuck it behind a rock or something and fire indirectly with it. So that's actually very valuable, and I think if I have other light carrier parts, I do not. I have, what, ultralight carrier, or... I forgot to build and sell the Kabuto. I should do that. I thought I had some kind of carrier. Weapons carrier. Okay. So, yeah, weapons carrier 30 ton is not compatible with the light carrier 40 ton. Alright. I mean, the heavy-wheeled APC is not super interesting. APCs are much more interesting once you have battle armor and things to drop, like we're going to be doing in Challenge Run. Yeah, I know, I keep mentioning it. You know, I said the Badger wasn't super interesting, but it still has 6'9" movement, which isn't the worst. It has 480 armor plates, and it's got 3 clan ER smalls and 5 clan machine guns. So it could potentially do some serious damage if it got to an open target. But I really think the SRM Scorpion is the thing that I'm most interested in. Actually, let me look at the Zoria. Hold on. Hold that. Zoria, Clan LBX 5 and a Clan Mortar 6. That has the benefit, the Mortar 6 has the benefit I mentioned with the LRM carrier, of being able to fire indirectly. And it also has really good range. Like, mortars and LB5s have quite a long range. So that's interesting. That's actually very interesting. Also, the fact that there are 7 parts available, we might get the Zoria randomly. You know what? Let's look at everything else. Before we commit to picking vehicle parts, the fact that we might get the Zoria randomly is very interesting. So we have a pair of Clan Mortar 6s. That's interesting. I don't think we need to grab Clan machine guns, even though we are running Clan machine guns, and if one of them gets destroyed, we don't have a replacement. And that is a stack of 4. That is a stack of 4, so that would be redundancy. But honestly, if we lose clan machine guns, replacing them with non-clan machine guns isn't that big of a deal. It's just we'd have to wiggle around a little bit of tonnage. Not a big deal at all. I don't think it's worth the priority pick here. Clan Case 2. Okay. I'm not going to priority pick it, but it is very, very good. So if you have clan armor, which, as I've mentioned before, comes with standard case built in, you can put a Clan Case 2 in a side torso for half a ton and never worry about ammo explosions again. Like, yes, if you have an ammo explosion, it will cause heat and it will cause stability damage. That will be reduced, but not completely eliminated from Case 2. But the fact that the damage from an ammo explosion is reduced to 5 points is great. It is... I highly recommend it, especially if you're running, you know, XL engines and things. Case 2 is very, very valuable when it comes in. It's less important if you're playing a run like this where you're dropping at or above the recommended lance rating. But if you're dropping on any kind of really risky missions, Case 2 could be the difference between success and failure. And then, yeah, we have a bunch of engine cores, 140 cores, so that's, I think 140 cores are like 60,000 apiece. Bunch of IC engines, which are, again, it's not the most money, but it's still money if we get them randomly. Fire Control Improved gives night vision. Clan Fire Control Improved gives night vision, +1 gunnery, and improves called shot location modifier. That is incredibly good. That's beyond just a standard clan fire control system, because night vision normally you would need to get something like advanced optics for. So this automatically negates a lot of the penalties of dropping on nighttime missions. Very valuable. We have 2 Clan Pharaohs, so I'm not going to priority pick that. Clan Guardian ECM. So, it is worth noting, Inner Sphere Guardian ECM provides better defensive stats when passive. Clan Guardian ECM provides better offensive stats. It reduces the enemy jamming by 4 and shield of 3 instead of the other way around. But the way that the Clan Guardian ECM really shines is when you kick it into active, because when you kick it into active, it actually keeps the benefits, more of the benefits on the carrier, and still does just about as much on the enemies that it's around. It also only weighs 1 ton instead of 1.5, so I think I'm going to actually take both of those, because both of those will find their way into mechs. We don't even have ECM at all on all of our mechs, so that's worthwhile. And then we have a bunch of ammo. There is an argument actually to be made for taking something like LK ammo that just increases the accuracy of whatever mech is using it. For example, actually, our fire starter. This would just be a +1 accuracy to the 12 tubes of standard SRM and 4 tubes of high crit SRM, the whatever it's called. So that actually would be a pretty sizable boost to our fire starter, or not necessarily sizable too much, but like since the SRMs are the primary like raw damage weapons, that would be a +1 accuracy in a lot of the ways that really matter. That said, I do need C-bills to travel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2 of the Zorya light tank parts. What this does is it greatly increases my chance of getting one randomly. So if I get 2 out of the remaining 5 Zorya light tank parts, I have one. If I get more than that, I can then scrap the Zorya light tank parts for C-bills. And that is basically the idea here. So let's see what happens. Badger, tracked APC, command van. I'm probably just immediately going to scrap the command vans. Those are kind of a joke. Heavy-wheeled APC, Ripper VTOL. That's going to actually be so much money. So clan vehicles, unlike clan mechs, where if you scrap the mech, unless it's an Omni, that's a special situation. But if you scrap a mech part, you basically just get paid on the frame, the chassis itself, not any of the components that would have been in it. But since vehicles automatically have all of their weapons in them, you actually also get value for the Clan Pharaoh, the Clan engine, if it has a Clan XL engine. Like, you get good money from scrapping Clan vehicle parts. So that's probably going to go straight into the blender, and we're going to see how many C-bills we get out of it. We got 2 of the Scorpion. Unfortunately, it's the LRM Scorpions, not the SRM. But either way, you know what? 2 parts of a Scorpion, either way, it's useful. And we failed to get all 4 parts we needed. Oof, that's rough. We only got 1 out of the 2 we needed. But that's fine. It's fine, because there's a chance that the next time we see a Zorya, it might not be the mortar one, and it might be one that I'm more interested in, because honestly, I'm not super thrilled with the idea of a slow-moving 345 armor, like, kinda... I mean, I guess the LVX is, if it's firing cluster, it's splash too, but... Then again, I might just scrap it. Like, not even joking. Not even joking. Because I don't know when the next time I'm going to see a Clan Zorya specifically is. And as I just said, clan vehicles, that's money. I'm going to see how much it'll scrap for, and we'll make that determination. We don't already have a 70 core, so sure, I'll go ahead and hold on to that. We have IC engine, that's 32,000. Again, we get 5 salvage total, one of which is a priority. So that means, yeah, we just got a quarter or so of what we would have gotten if we had gone C-bills with 2 out of the 4 random picks we got. So, Yeah, point stands. Clan sensors, like, it's better than nothing. It's better than nothing, but at the same time, especially if you're on a short range mech, if you're on a mech that's getting up close, it literally does nothing. I'm going to see how much they sell for, but it's probably not a lot. Structure, 13,000. Oof. Low roll on the ammo, that's for sure. Machine gun ammo, half bin of machine gun ammo, SRM ammo. Alright, whatever, it's fine. And of course we have no repair bill because we didn't drop any mechs. So we're just straight away going to go into the mech bay. Oh. I was about to build the Kabuto, but I now realize I can't build the Kabuto. Huh. Okay, I'll look at that in a second. But to continue the idea. Actually, oh, we can build the Scorpion. Actually, wait, what? Did we already have a part? We must have. I only saw 3 on the loot table. Period. Okay. Well, we now have an LRM boat, or LRM vehicle with 15 LRM tubes. That's useful. Let's actually look real quick and see what kind of ammo it's running. Standard ammo, standard ammo. But it does have the fire control missile range, which, as I've mentioned before, is really good on LRMs because it drops the missile minimum range by half. So instead of the standard, what is it, 120, 180, it's now 90. So that's a massive improvement. So having the fire control missile range is super good. It does only have 445 armor plates, but that's still 445 armor plates. Like, that's more than our Chausser, and we've seen how much of a beating our Chausser can take. So, very happy to have it. Let's go back to storage, though. And wherever it is, that's the mobile turret. Saladin. I really love Saladins. I'm a sucker for big pinpoint. Like, what can I say? Also, hover tanks are fun. But yeah, the Zoria light tank. Here we go. So remember, this is a clan 35-ton light tank. We can scrap it for 75,000 C-bills apiece. So if we scrap all 3, that's 221,000. That's more than what we would have gotten if we had negotiated for C-bills instead of salvage. Yes, it was 2 priority picks and 1 random, but still, 3 out of the 5 salvage that we got, technically, for one of the ticks of not going for C-bills, got us more C-bills, and then 2 extra salvage on top of it. So, with default settings, as long as you kind of have an idea of what to grab and what's worth grabbing and what you want, and you can manage your finances pretty well, it's pretty hard to justify going anything other than full salvage, except against like periphery states. That's my point. Here we have the Copperhead, which I don't think we're ever going to build it again. It's primitive, it's low tech. That's 73,000. And more importantly, it would be less stuff in our in our storage to cost us money. I mean, I could also... So, the Kabuto 7A, I believe, was the one that just had 2 SRM6s. I believe. So, there's not a whole lot we could gain. I will discuss all that actually next time. I know exactly what I'm going to do with this. Okay, so put a pin in it till next time. But, oh, right. The other Clan Ripper. This is a point I wanted to make. Ripper, 27,000. Far more valuable scrapping it for 27,000 than building it with 135 armor plates. That's basically just one shot can open it up and kill it. Like 25 armor on the left, right, and rear with 5 structure. So anything bigger than a medium laser can one-shot it. So I am just going to straight away scrap it. That's 27,000. And some clan vehicles especially, like, you get insane money from some of them. So the reason that those were only like 27,000 is specifically because they probably weren't running Clan XL engines. Because yes, vehicles can actually be running XL Clan engines, which are very, very valuable. They can also be running Clan XXL engines, which you saw at the beginning of this playthrough. We sold one for insane money. And they can just be built in, so you get basically a quarter. If you scrap one piece, you get a quarter of that value in the scrapping, which is nice. Oh yeah, the Mantis that has the small X pulse and the light tag. See, I'm much more okay with 50 structure and armor combined, just because, you know, that's 2 medium lasers instead of like just a bit over 1. Anyway, we'll talk about the Kabuto and scrapping that tomorrow, whenever we drop on another mission, because we don't need Tainted Loki or Rusalka, and we have no repairs to be done from that mission. So we're going to be able to drop on an additional mission, get more C-bills, more salvage, and then travel. But that'll be tomorrow. For now, that's been your episode of Roguetech for the day. I hope you enjoyed it, and until next time, have a good one.